Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Naruto is ignored and neglected and awakens the power of his ancestors? Before I start, please do support for more awesome content, and subscribe my channel and like this video. Go support and follow the Red-Eyed Prince for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story. Link in the description. No, Lord Third. A spiky blonde-haired man yelled out. Allow me instead. No, Minato, the man said to other known as Minato, you have to stay alive as well as Kushina so your children aren't alone. But what about you, your daughter? With a heavy sigh the man said she will be fine, she has a Suma and he's 28, he can look after her, but these are mere newborns with no one. Very well, Lord Third. No, Hiruzen. With a sad smile the man known as Hiruzen did the Sealing Reaper death seal, he calls out, and as odd creature with a mask, white robe and a small blade appears, then a grey arm with odd black markings shoots out of his stomach, not that anyone other than him can see it, as it pulls red energy into his stomach, leaving an odd swirl mark with what appears to be odd symbols. Another arms gives some to a red-haired girl on her knees with yellow chains coming out her back, holding down a giant nine-tailed fox with red slitted eyes filled with hate and malice. As it grew smaller it was about to kill the two babies in front of it, but Hiruzen jumped in the way, getting a giant claw through the stomach and coughing up blood. Not say fast, he said, as he sealed the rest in a baby boy with spiky red hair and fell to the ground. Hiruzen! Minato cried out as he ran and caught him before he hit the ground. I gave Kushina enough to live, please make sure the boy is seen as a hero. With tears at the edge of his, Minato said in a quiet and soft tone, I will. With that Hiruzen gave a sad but happy sometime as his life slipped away. Council room the next day. So Hiruzen gave his life, said a man in his mid to late 50s with glasses in a sad tone as he looked down. A woman in her mid to late 50s also rubbed his back, knowing the two were close. It's alright Hamura, he's with us in spirit, said the lady. Thank you Kohara, the man said, clearing his throat. Another man in his mid to late 50s with longish black spiky hair said, what of the 9 tails? He sealed half inside himself and a little in Kushina to survive, and the rest in my youngest son Menma, Minato informed. This is troubling, said the man. How so, Danzo? The villagers, said the man known as Danzo. With that two simple words the room went silent. What do you suppose we do, Danzo asked Koharu. He showed, but he was cut off by Minato. We don't tell them. They have a right to know, said Danzo. No they don't, it'll only make my son as an outcast, and the 9 tails could corrupt him, or he could have ill will and leave. I have a better idea, considering what could happen if we don't tell them anything, said Danzo. And what would that be? Asked Minato. Isn't it obvious, Lord Fourth? They would live in constant fear of it returning. Sure, we could always say it won't, or that you killed it, but not everyone would believe you. Some might research the bija and find out. They can't die, they can only be sealed away, making a Jinchuriki, and they'd demand who it was. Then what? Like give them mistrust, we'd have to have a new Hokage because they wouldn't trust you, stated Danzo. Damn it, Minato cursed under his breath. Very well, Danzo, what's this plan? asked Minato. We tell them it was split, not actually a lie, just how it was, said Danzo. Go on, said Minato, curious what he was getting at. We at the third sealed its power in Menma and soul in your oldest, suggested more, stated Danzo. Absolutely not, Minato said with a raised voice. He'd be ostracized, said Minato. Would you rather we say Menma had it? asked Danzo. And no, Minato stuttered out. There's 2 choices, both are difficult, just remember you're the Hokage first, and a father second, stated Danzo. He didn't hate Minato, he had some respect for him. He wasn't soft like Hiruzen, but he wasn't cruel. That, at times, could be his weakness, but all in all he was a good Hoke. At the time he'd have proffered Orochimaru, but was glad how it turned out. With a sigh and deep pain, knowing what he was about to do would ruin his eldest son's life. Very well, Danzo, but give it a year or so for him to grow up a little, asked Minato. Out of respect and the safety of the child I will wait 2 years, said Danzo. Excellent, we will have a strong and loyal Jinchuriki, and if all goes well I can bring the boy, what's his name, Naruto, into root. He'll be a strong shinobi of Konoha, especially if he gets his mother's chains, thought Danzo. Very well, we can make an announcement saying Hiruzen gave his life to kill it. Wouldn't they do as you said, Shikaku Nara? He and the other clan heads have been silent this whole time. Not at first, that would take time. We announce the Jinchuriki when they start getting desperate and suspicious. With little luck he might have a childhood for a bit longer, he informed the lazy Nara. If that's all I'd like while we still are meeting, adjourned, stated Minato as he got up, started to leave. The rest then started to leave Uzumaki/Namake's house. Honey, I'm home, said Minato, remembering to be quiet to not wake Naruto or Menma, but loud enough for his wife to hear him. He took off his sandals and walked into the living room and sat down. He then heard footsteps coming down the steps. He looked over to the door, and seeing his beautiful wife. She was a pale-ish woman with long, beautiful red hair, deep grew-ish blue eyes. She looked quite lively for someone who went through what she did. She looked tired, of course, but she shouldn't be. She should be dead after that. It never ceases to amaze him, the strength and stamina, the Uzumaki, especially the stamina that really helped him become the fastest shinobi. He pities the poor girl who has ever married the full-blood male Uzumaki. He notices the worried look his wife had. Does she know what was gonna happen with Naruto? He thought. Kushina, what's wrong? He asked, trying to sound as innocent as possible, which she took notice of but put at the back of her mind. For now, it's Naruto, she said. Minato had a nervous look on his face and was sweating, thinking what his wife would do. It would range from cold shoulder to getting his kick to getting, well, let's say the opposite of pleasure when doing an adult act that lets people have children. What about him? Is he okay? He asks. He's not been crying. She sees the puzzled and confused look on his face, and explains he's been silent, not crying or anything. The only time he came close was when Menma cried, and it was hurting his ears maybe, or maybe it just annoyed him. Minato had a thoughtful look on his face, then said, okay, there are two reasons why. One, he's mute. Saying this, Kushina had a look of worry. He's seen this, and said, two, the more likely he's more of a quiet person like me. And he looks more like me, so maybe he's a quiet type like me, he says as the worry left her body. Mostly she was still worried though, but then she remembered the look he had on his face, and how worried he was when she walked in. Minato, what's wrong? She asked, causing Minato to panic. And nothing, he stuttered out, causing her to narrow her eyes on the nervous blonde. You wouldn't lie to me, right, Minato? She asked in a too sweet tone. Oh, of course not, sweetheart. Why would you ask that? He asks, looking away and sweating bullets with a nervous chuckle/laugh. Minato, she says in a more serious and deathly tone that promises pain, stop joking around and tell me. She says, no demands. WWLUCKK Kushina, he says in a nervous way, followed with a nervous laugh. He then explains everything that happened at the council meeting. Terrified and nervous, he wouldn't put it past Kushina to castrate him in his sleep. What made it worse was the silence that followed after he explained. Her hair shadowed her eyes as she slowly got up and closes all the doors and put up silencer seals. While she was doing that, Minato was terrified and sweating bullets. Once she had finished, she calmly sat down and turned to him. He felt fear he hasn't since they first slept together. He felt so much exhaustion, and when asked for round 2, he almost died. If he didn't work on his stamina, he's more than sure he's certain he'd have died from exhaustion or OD on soldier pills. You did what? She yelled, shaking him out of his PTSD of their early love life. I didn't have a choice. After a while of explaining, she calmed down but didn't like it. Now this is where it gets tough. I've never been good writing/thinking of family stuff, so if this sucks, tell me what I could do better. Time skip 1 year. Over the past year, Kushina relaxed. When Minato was right, Naruto was just a quiet kid who didn't talk much. He and Menma grow up as good close friends and brothers. Naruto did seem rather mature and well-mannered. He was always there to pick up Menma. Think Indra and Ashura. I don't know what else I can do at this part, so I'ma just skip to the announcement. Time skip 1 year 6 months. Currently Naruto and his twin were 2.5 and the village was getting panicked about the 9 tails, so Danzo and the rest of the council, including Minato, announced that Menma had the 9 tails power and Naruto had the soul. The village took this in all their IQ of 6, as he's the demon itself reincarnated, and he was only getting close to Menma-sama to get his power back, but Minato got them to settle down. But there was always the glares, the whispers and hate. Minato forbid anyone talking about it or telling them about what they have. Time skip 2 years 6 months. Naruto and Menma are now 5, and the differences between them other than looks really began to show. Menma was a loud, brash, hyper, and impulsive boy, while Naruto was a little quiet, calculative, calm, and patient boy. The two were so different. Even Naruto was still different to Minato. Naruto was cold to people. While it wasn't much, he was hesitant when it came to new people. He always had a look that says calculating your every movement. It made Minato sad that he was probably the reason for that. Naruto was sitting at a window watching his parents train Menma. He'd be lying if he said he wasn't envious of his little brother, but because he was the Hokage's son, he was able to ask his father to get the books and journals of the 3 previous Hokage. While there was a lot he didn't understand, remember he's only 5, he enjoyed reading about the battles rather than the stuff about jutsu, and how to read them, and how create them and improve your own. The only jutsu part he understood was summoning and Keki Genki, but creating just aforesaid Keki Genki was still a mystery for him. Summoning was fairly straightforward. You make a contract and they allow you to summon them if they find you worthy enough. He loved reading Hashirama's and Tobirama's journal during the clan wars. He found their different view of thing interesting. Hashirama wanted peace while Tobirama wanted to win. While they had the chance, ultimately they found peace, and from the journals he found out that Madara and Hashirama wanted this from a young age, and that Hashirama wanted him to become the Hokage and protect everyone, but he became the Hokage, and Madara said something like the Uchiha will pushed out. I tried to warn them but they called me mad, said I was trying to restart the war all over, saying they were tired of the fighting. He found Madara to be right in a way. He sees the Uchiha have been pushed out ever since that man claiming to be Madara or hinted at it. He was asked if he was, but that couldn't be, he was long dead. All he had said to this is I wonder about that. There was confusion and mistrust on both parties. Naruto was wondering if anyone would start a following in the clan, and if so what would happen. Thinking about what could happen to his aunt Mikoto filled him with anger and worry. He nervously went to his parents. They tend to ignore him, like forgetting to call him to dinner, and sometimes he'll come down, see them eating without a place for when he confronts them. Minato has a good excuse, since he was at work, so he can't fault him for that, but his mother would just give him a sheepish look and say sorry, won't happen again. It did. Went up to them and asked, hey mom, dad, when can I start my training? It's been 2 months since Menma started his. Sorry Naruto, well do it after your birthday, they told him. He found sad but funny how the youngest started his after their 5th birthday 2 months back, and he'll get to do it after his 6th. Time skip 4 months later. It was 6 months until his birthday. His 5th was terrible. He was pushed to the side while everyone celebrated. He didn't mind. He wasn't one for large parties/gatherings, but his presents weren't thought out at all. While Menma ramen coupons for that food he liked, and kunai and ninja stuff he'd asked for and took interest in, while books he'd already read a book, How to Flex Your Chakra for When You're in Trouble. From Mikoto Kushina and Minato, his parents just gave him cloths that he didn't like. Most of favorite things he got from Mikoto: ninja tactic books, notebooks, new cloths, and adult kunai, all in. He loved it well. He loved what he got from Mikoto. Everyone else, and the party itself, he only liked because they left him alone. Slower over the past 6 months he's been becoming colder and colder. He looked out his window to see Menma training. He just calmed down after the rage he felt when he went outside and asked to join, and they yelled at him. Normally they wouldn't, but the things his mother said, the look his father had, was something he'll never forget. They yelled. Well, it was raised voice, not quit yell, but even so they told him stop asking, he'll do it at the academy, which he pointed out they said on his 6th birthday. At the anger she had disappeared and a look of confusion. Before remembering, she stuttered out that they changed their minds. Calming down, he slipped away, getting basic train scrolls and leaving to a training ground. A young man roughly 13 to 14 was sleeping in a tree. He had slightly curly hair and was wearing all black with a brown leather thing on his chest, bandages wrapped around his ankles. He was Shisui Uchiha best friend to Itachi Uchiha, and one of the Uchiha's best. He was relaxing when he heard noises. He opened his eyes only to widen when he seen a kid roughly 5 or 6 slowly wailing up a tree. He seen he was about to fall, so he caught him. He waited until he woke up. He sent a clone to go get water from the stream. It was the freshest and best water ever. He may or may not have beaten Itachi for saying he's had better after all. Itachi said he fell down some stairs. So as he was grinning evilly in his mind, he was cut off by Naruto stirring. Hey kid, you alright? He asked the blonde. Why yeah, he said, holding his aching head. I'm pressed for time, so he agrees to teach Naruto and train him. Time skip 6-month birthday. It was just like last year, only this time Shisui sensei had gotten him things, but he wasn't expecting what would happen. Everyone, I would like to make an announcement. I would like announce Menma as the new Toad Summoner. This was followed by claps and praise. After everyone quieted down, he then announced that he will become heir to both the Uzumaki and Namake's clans. Everyone was happy except 3: Mikoto, Shisui, and Naruto. He ran off crying, and then Shisui ran after him. All the hurt he was feeling, the pain. He stopped at a lake. He had a burning pain in his eye like they were on fire. When he heard Shisui call out, he turned around to see a wide-eyed Shisui, because Naruto's eyes were no longer the deep dark but yet bright vibrant navy blue. They were crimson red with one tomo in each eye. And Naruto, why your eyes? Naruto had a confused look. He then turned to the lake to see. He then went wide-eyed also. Shisui smirked. His little Naruto has the Sharingan. When Naruto turned around, he was wide-eyed, but for a different reason. His sensei had that evil glint in his eye, Over the time Naruto and Shisui trained hard, Naruto learned ninja tactics, history, present-day situations, what if means to be a shinobi, genjutsu, ninjutsu, kenjutsu, and a little fuinjutsu and certain snake jutsu. From our favorite snake lady who tried to get Shisui to do as he put adult things with a smirk. Time skip. So what is you wanted to talk about? Danzo asked Shisui. Naruto was laying down in his bed thinking about everything that's happened to him. First his brother got trained and he wasn't, then they started ignoring him, but it wasn't just his family, somehow his treatment has gotten worse. Flashback after the party. Naruto was walking through the village heading to his favorite ramen shop. The two people he's seen as a grandfather and older sister thinking about him, and the old man put a smile on his face. It's that kid. Yeah, he's so pathetic that his own family doesn't want him. That one comment made him stop in his tracks. Doesn't want me? What does that mean? He's so weak, so much for the oldest son of the fourth Hokage. Weakling, monster, demon, filth, disgrace, all these and so many more have been called. He made a run to the ramen shop trying not to cry. I need answers, Naruto thought to himself. Flashback end. Naruto sighed but then smiled when thinking of his mother and brother Mikoto and Shisui. Mikoto was the mother he never had. Despite the fact he had a mother, she wasn't someone would call a mother unless it was to mimic to him. She was more like a landlord that didn't ask for money. Pretty cool, right? No, not when she was supposed to be his mother. He was only 7 yet had to learn how to run and hide, cook, clean, and have a healthy lifestyle. Sure, he had Mikoto and Shisui, but she was supposed to be his mother and she's practically abandoned him. Every now and then they'll feed him, but they never shouted. He had to plan out when dinner would be and show up, then he gets to eat. Thinking about his family just made give a sad sigh. He then heard something tapping his window. He got up and seen a dark blue crow with a violet shine. Naruto-sama, the crow said in a feminine voice. A message from Shisui-sama, she said in a nervous, stuttering voice, which Naruto just gave a warm smile to. It's okay, you're fine, you'll do your mother proud and your brother will do your father proud. Hearing this made the crow nod and gave him a small note. Reading the note, Naruto had a look of confusion and worry. It was from Shisui telling to meet quickly. He got ready and left to head to the meeting spot. Naruto saw Shisui looking at a lake with his back turned to him. This lake was in the training grounds they first met at. When Shisui turned around, Naruto gasped. He was covered in blood. Blood was streaming down his closed eye, which led Naruto to believe that his eye was gone. Naruto, Shisui said in a raspy, strained voice, making Naruto cringe a bit. As Shisui, Naruto said in a worried tone, what happened? Don't worry about that, come here, he said in an almost pleading tone. Naruto reluctantly walked over and stood in front of someone who is his brother and everything but blood. I'm dying. With those 2 words said, Naruto felt his world spin. He felt dizzy as tears came to his face, and no, he stutters out between sobs. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm gonna be leaving you for a while, he says with a sad smile. There has to be a way to save you. He looks down at his little brother with a sad smile. He puts his hand on his head and ruffles his spiky hair. Sorry, I'm so sorry, be strong for me. Through all the sobs and blinding tears, all Naruto could do was nod. I'm glad I got to see you one last time. I'll be watching over you. Make me proud, he tells Naruto with one last hug. Shisui then broke the embrace and left to talk with Itachi. Time skip 2 weeks later. With the help of Mikoto and Itachi, Naruto has gotten over Shisui's death. Well, he's at least eating again. Naruto got up from his bed and a tear fell down his cheek. He has been dreaming of Shisui again. Those words, make me proud, only fills him with pain and determination. He walked over into his closet and pulled out black pants, a white shirt, and a red zip-up hoodie. He then put on a necklace with a deep crimson red crystal like Tsunade's, but different. He walks downstairs and went for the door. Where are you going? He heard a feminine voice. He turned around and seen a beautiful redhead woman in her mid to late 30s. He let out a sigh and said in a quiet tone, I'm going to Shisui-sensei's grave. Be back straight after, she said in a tone that showed authority and worry. He was attacked in his own village. I'd hate to see you end up the same. Naruto tried his best to hold his anger. Oh, so now you show concern for your son, he thought to himself, with only the training, his emotion training from Shisui, and trying his best not to sound sarcastic. Yoi wouldn't want that, right, he said, a bit animosity showing with a slight glare over his shoulder. Alright, she said, a bit of sweat running down the side of her head. I never did like him training you. I'd hate if you died because of him, she said with venom at the thought. However, this breaks Naruto, as he lets out killer intent. That man is the reason I'm alive, not that you'd care, and at least someone trained me right. Mom, he says with hate. What's that supposed to mean? She asks, getting angry. You're smart, figure it out, he says, clear hate in his voice as he leaves, leaving a fuming Kushina. Shusui's grave. Naruto walks up to the headstone and leaves some flowers. Naruto just stands there for a while until he feels someone coming to the grave. Without turning his head, he knows who it is. "Hi Itachi," he says in a quiet tone. "Naruto." Itachi says with sympathy. "How long have you been out here?" he asks. "What time is it?" he asks. 12:30, he informs the blonde. 5.5 hours, he informs the young Uchiha. Itachi lets out a sigh. "Have you had anything to eat?" he asks, hoping he's eaten something. It took a lot to get him to eat after his death. "No, not since dinner yesterday," he informs him. Itachi crouches down and puts his flowers next to Naruto's and bows his head in respect for his fallen comrade, cousin, and best friend. He stands up and puts a hand on Naruto's shoulder. "Let's go and get something to eat," he tells Naruto as he begins to leave. Naruto, after another minute, and a promise to make him proud, he then leaves with Itachi to eat Ichiraku ramen. Naruto stops outside of the ramen stand. This is the place he and Shisui would go to after training. A memory of them sitting and laughing causes him to have to wipe a few tears away as he walks in. "Hello, welcome to," but the young girl stops seeing who it is. Naruto. She yells happy to see her surrogate little brother, and give him a big hug, yelling that she's missed him, and where has he been for 2 weeks. The sound of Itachi clearing his throat causes her to stop and look at Itachi with a blush. "Hi Itachi-kun, I didn't see you there." "Kun?" Naruto thinks to himself, remembering Anko would call Shisui that. "Hi, can we have some bowls of ramen please?" "Right, coming up. What kind?" "Miso and pork please," Itachi informs the girl. She brings them the ramen and asks, "How have you been doing since Shisui died?" Naruto stays silent, making Itachi answer for him. "He's been hanging in there." "What about you?" he asks the girl, causing her to blush and making Naruto look between the two suspiciously. The two eat and go their separate ways. Naruto, noticing how late it had gotten, and went home. Uzumaki/Namake's house. A fuming Kushina was waiting with a scared/nervous Minato, whereas he, a angry Kushina, asked, "He's probably on his way here." Minato tried to calm his fuming wife. "When I get my hands on that brat, I'll kill him," she said, furious. "Why are you so angry with him?" asked the confused Minato. "He was being disrespectful and getting angry with me for showing concern for his well-being," she said in anger. "How so?" he asks. "He was acting as if we knowing nothing about him, as if we weren't his parents," she said, getting angrier thinking about it. "Come to think of it, I don't really remember ever spending time with him, just you and Menma. Maybe he's acting out because of that?" questioned Minato. "Maybe, but come to think of it, I don't remember spending time with him either," she confessed. "Well, he was training with Shisui was a long time and didn't have free time, and with us training Menma," he told her. Letting go of her anger, she slumped down in sadness. "Maybe we should have trained him too, and maybe he wouldn't have to deal with Shisui's loss," she admitted in a sad tone. They were cut off when they heard the door open and Naruto walking upstairs. They began to shout him down, but they only got his door closing and locking in response. Uchiha compound, Itachi's home. Itachi stood behind his parents. "I see, so you've aligned," his father said flatly. "Father, mother, we already know." Itachi, his mother cut him off. "Itachi just promised me this," he said, getting Itachi's full attention, "that you'll take care of Sasuke." "I will," Itachi says in a shaky tone as tears stream down his face, and his blade shakes. "Do not fear it, this is the path you have chosen. Compared to yours, our pain will be over in an instant. Our philosophies may differ, but I'm still proud of you. You're truly a kind child," his father finishes while Itachi was crying more, and his blade was shaking. "Itachi," his mother says in soft tone, "look after Naruto. He's bound to lose more, and I fear what he will become." "I will," he shakily says. "Goodbye, Itachi," his parents say in unison. Time skip after the Uchiha funeral. Naruto was walking when he seen a all-white crow was a Sharingan. He looks in it, and is put in a Jinjusta. He look, and sees Itachi. A few things pop in his mind: hate, anger, confusion, and a question. In a quiet tone he asks why. Instead of telling him, he shows him, and he fall to his knees sweating. "Danzo," he says angrily. "Don't fall into hatred," Itachi tells him. "I don't know if I can stop it. First Shisui, now you and Mikoto. I just can't do this." "Then leave," he suggests. "What?" Naruto asked questioningly. "Get what you need and leave. First go to that room we talked about and take a picture, then get what you want from the Uchiha library and your father's and leave." Naruto ponders this and decides to do it. He gathers everything and prepares to leave. Next morning, Naruto was walking out the door of his house when he heard his mother ask where he was going. "Leaving," he said in a cold, serious tone. "What do you leave?" his mother asks while Minato narrows his eye at his son. "I'm leaving the village. There's nothing left for me here," he says, back turned. "We're here for you, Naruto, us, your mother, and your family," his mother said. "You're not my mother!" he hisses out, "and you're not my family." He finishes, pure animosity and killer intent oozing out of him. Naruto, I know we haven't spent much time together, but Minato was cut off. Much time together? You say that as if I've spent time with any of you, Naruto says as the killer intent gets more intense. Naruto, I'm your mother and you will, but she was cut off when Naruto turned around to glare at her, two Tomo's Sharingan in each eye glaring into her soul. You're not my mother was Mikoto Uchiha, he says, glaring at Minato with such hate that it was close to a kage, or at least jonin. We won't let you go, Minato says in a serious tone. I've already left, he says as his body turns into crows. That just confirms Minato's suspicions, Itachi told him. Far away from the village, Naruto turns to the direction of the village, Sharingan blazing. He then turns around and walks off. Minato was trying to calm down his crying, sobbing wife when she realized what terrible parents they were, if you can call them that. She started crying her eyes out. He had to hold her down to stop her from drinking a bunch of sake. He let her drink a little, but she didn't stop. She just kept going and going. This couldn't have happened at a worse time. She lost her best friend and now her own son, and that he called Mikoto her best friend, his mother, and that Itachi and Shisui was his brothers, and he had no father. All she could think of is drink and hate herself. Minato was thankful she was a Jinchuriki anymore, otherwise she'd be on a rampage. How cc could we do this to him? She stutters out, sobbing and weeping. She was in total despair. I just don't know. He got a loud cry in response. The pain he seen on his wife made his heart break. She made a dash to the sake and he had to grab her and hold her in his arms to calm her down. She struggled but settled down and cried in his chest before passing out due to emotional stress. Land of hot water. Winter. Months later, Naruto was sitting in a park. It was snowing and it was cold. Luckily he had survival training from Itachi, Shisui and Mikoto. Itachi taught traps and camp setup, Shisui taught hunting and fire building, and Mikoto taught him how to cook and how to check if it's cooked properly. Thinking about his dead family brought a sad smile to his face. He was interrupted from his thoughts when he seen two people enter his camp. He looked up and seen a young man 20 to 23 years old with short spiky black hair, a headband sideways on his head and bandages wrapped around his face, and a large sword on his back, and a young girl with long black hair and brown eyes. She was maybe a year or so older than him. Hey kid, the man said in a rough voice as he looked at the young blonde. What are you doing here alone? Where are your parents or family? He asks. They're dead, all of them. It's just me, he informed the man. I see. Mind if we join you? He asks. Why? Naruto asks cautiously. Well, it's already late, and the time it'd take to set camp would be too long. We have a tent, firewood, and food we can share. What do you say? He asks. Alright. He allows him. The two set up their tent and make conversation. So kid, how did you set all this up? My family were shinobi and taught me survival training, Naruto admitted. Oh, who were they? Maybe I've heard of them, or maybe even fought them, he asks, causing Naruto to go on alert. Settle down, squirt. I'm a ninja. I don't care about grudges between villages, and even if I had one against them, which I doubt, they're dead, and I don't see the point in taking it out on you, someone who nothing to do with it, he assured the young blonde. They were Mikoto Shisui and Itachi Uchiha, he informs the mist ninja, much to his surprise, if the wide eyes were any indicator. TTH, those three were your family, he asks in a tone that shows respect, fear, and honor. Did you know them? He asks, curious if this man knew his mother and brothers. They were the people I loved and honored. Thinking of Mikoto, he smiled, but that turned into a frown when he remembered that he said his family was dead. Hey kid, he said, getting his attention, you said your family was dead, yes? Asking this caused the blonde to look down. Yes, he said in a tone devoid of emotion, making Zabuza wince a little, thinking about how bad this poor kid must have had it. What happened? He asked the blank-looking blonde. Konoha happened. He then goes on explaining what happened, why it happened. To say Zabuza was pissed was an understatement. He was downright livid. His best friend, like sister Mikoto, was killed because of her own village. Her clan was played by the very people it was protecting. They backed them into a corner, and they lashed out in defense. And they killed her. Worst of all, they made her own son do it, knowing he would to stop civil war, and the pain this kid went through, it was disgusting. Haku was in tears and hugging Naruto, who just had a blank face, which Zabuza didn't like, but he couldn't blame him. But even so, alright kid, how about you join us? He asks the blonde, who raises an eyebrow. Why should I? He asks the man. I knew your mother, and I know she would never forgive me if I just left you alone, he admitted to the young blonde. Naruto narrows his eyes at the man suspiciously. In what way did you know her? She was like a sister to me. She helped me when I was injured despite the fact we were from different villages. She was a very kind person and I cared about her deeply, he admitted to the young blonde in a sad tone, which Naruto noticed. Alright, he agrees. Hey, what's that, he says, pointing to the sword. Oh, it's a replica of the executioner's blade, one of the 7 swords of the mist, he informs the blonde, who nod. I've heard of the sword, but why do you have a replica and not the real thing, he asks. The blade is with a missing nin by the name Juzo Biwa. Last I heard he joined some crime organization, he tells him. I see, Naruto replies. So who are you two? I never got to ask, he asks the two. I'm Zabuza Momochi and this is Hakiyuki. Nice to meet you, I'm Naruto Uchiha. Konoha council room months prior. The council was confused. Why were they all called in so early? It was only the shinobi side, the civilians didn't need to know this. Hokage-sama, could you please tell us what we are all doing here so early, asked Inoichi Yamanaka, which everyone asked, nodding in agreement, all but one who just mumbled troublesome. 3 guesses who that was. It's about my son, he said in concern. Is everything okay with Menma-sama, asked one of the elders. No, it's not, Menma Minato informed. Naruto? What could possibly be wrong with him, asked some head of the Inuzuka clan. He's left the village, he stated, getting gasps from everyone in the room. Why have you gathered us for such a reason, asked Hayashi, head of the Hyuga clan, not seeing the point in gathering the whole council for the pariah of the village. I don't see the point in us gathering for that, just send Umbu to get the brat, he can't be too far, said Sum. He's out of the land of fire already, informed Minato, much to everyone's surprise. How can that be? The boy is a pathetic weak exus of a Uzumaki and Namikaze and son of a Hokage, stated Hayashi. Everyone in the room froze at the killer intent leaking off Minato as he glared at the Hyuga. What was that, Hayashi? Care explain? He asked. Tell Hayashi. What I mean, why should we prioritize our time with your son who you yourself saw as nothing but a failure, Hayashi said as he had a blank look on his face as Minato just looked down. After a moment of silence, Shikaku spoke. As much as I love listening to this, I would like to know why we have been summoned here, he asked the Hokage. I would like to know the importance of your son leaving the village. Well, yes, he is your son, but I don't see the need to summon the council, stated Danzo. He has the Sharingan, informed Minato. Everyone in the room gasped. Even Danzo was surprised. If I get my hands on the boy, I can make him a fine root member, and if he gets the Uzumaki chains, he might even surpass all the Hokage, even Hashirama and Madara in visual prowess. Danzo thought to himself. How can that be? Stuttered Koharu. I don't know, Minato informs. Perhaps the theory about the Uchiha Senju and Uzumaki clan all come from one person is true, and some dormant gene awakened the Sharingan, stated Shikaku. If that's true, wouldn't that mean that Kushina and Menma have it? Asked Choza. No, if that were true, then all Uzumakis, or at least a large amount of them, would have it, stated Shibi Abirame. If that's the case, how did the brat get it? Asked Sum. Shikaku notices the look of guilt on Minato's face, and pushes on. It's something you'd like to tell us, Hokage-sama, asks the lazy Nara. Minato freezes at the question, which everyone sees. Well, you see, Naruto was very close to Mikoto Shisui and Itachi Uchiha, so the loss of them because of Itachi would be the cause, I'd imagine. Minato says, not saying the full truth. How far is it advanced? Asks Danzo. He has 2 tomo, Minato informs, much to everyone's surprise. We must find him, Hamura and Kohara said at the same time. We don't know where he went. The best we can do is have Umba look out for him, informed Shikaku. Very well, we'll do just that, said Danzo. Back with Naruto, Haku, and Zabuza. Time skip. You just had to have the sword, said Naruto sarcastic, and you had to try and kill Yagura without us, he said with even more sarcasm as he glared at Zabuza as they were jumping from tree to tree running from Kiri. Umbu, you took too long, Zabuza stated. Took too long? No, you're just stay be happy. Zabuza grunts in response while Haku giggles. He has a point, Zabuza, Haku said with a sweet smile. Over the last 2.5 years she's tried to get close to Naruto, but he's still been cold to her, and everyone, although he's less cold to her now than when they first met. They've gotten as close as he will allow for someone who's lost everyone he's cared about. As they were running, they heard a shout. Water style. Giant vortex jutsu. Quickly Naruto turns around, jumping backwards, and yellow out fire style. Fireball jutsu. He releases a giant ball of fire, hitting the ball of water, causing a smoke screen of mist which allows Zabuza to kill the Umbu. They quickly make their way to the boat they have set up. They make out of mist and decide to start a rebellion and do jobs. I'm not gonna lie, it's a Haku ship, but I'm bad at showing character development, and also I'm gonna try my best to do it. Land of hot water. It was late at night, and Naruto and Haku were currently in a battle. There was ice spikes sticking out the ground and scorch marks on the ground. Both of them were panting heavily. Well, more Haku than Naruto. It still amazes both Zabuza and Haku the amount of stamina Naruto has. Zaza believes that it is comparable to Kisame-sama, who is considered to have the same amount of chakra as a tailed beast, and no one knows his stamina, but it is believed to be great. As the two caught their breath, they heard lightning style. Lightning current as stream of lightning heads to theme like a tsunami. Naruto snaps his head round and goes through hand signs wind style. Great breakthrough. The justice sends a giant blast of wind that breaks through the lightning, cutting the Kumo-nin to death. Suddenly he hears Haku scream. He turns around and sees her on the ground, the last Kumo-nin over her. He acts quickly and makes a mad dash to the Kumo-nin. He isn't fast enough. The Kumo-nin just barely misses, but is stabbed through the back by a sword. When he turns around, he sees something that terrifies him, a pair of blood-red crimson eyes with 3 tomo in each eye glowing with hate. As he looks into it, he then is set on fire, making him burn to ashes. When he opens his eye, he realizes that it was a powerful genjutsu and dies in agony, both mental and physical. He goes over to Haku, lifts her up, and starts jumping off, Minato Kushina style. Time skip. Land of Waves. Gato hideout. You got beat by some guy and a couple of brats, asked the short man. He then tries to touch Zabuza, but Haku grabs his arm and breaks it. His guards go for their weapons, but then a boy with white hair wearing all black grabs their swords and puts it to their necks. Now I think we should all just calm down, the boy said in a cheery tone with an eye smile. Gato and his guards leave my Zabuza. What happened? He says in a cheery tone, eye smiling. Don't play the fool, he barked out. I know you were watching, you always are. Zabuza spits out. What, little old me? He says, acting like a victim. The eye smile gets bigger. Zabuza grunt as the white-haired boy walks over to Haku and lifts her up, and he asks her, getting an annoyed snort from Zabuza as the two young teen make out in front of him. Do you have no shame? He asks as they stop. The boy turns to him and gives an eye smile. Not really, he responds. Now you rest. Okay, we're going to da training. Yes, stamina training, he says with that never-ending smile as the two disappear in a small tornado, leaving Zabuza to brooding in his bed. Damn you, Naruto. The bridge after Haku's death. She was nothing but a tool to me, said Zabuza to the redhead, who growls at him. But before anyone can say a word, they all feel the killer intent and turn around to see a white-haired boy as he vanishes in blur. They all see him hold Haku in his arms, crying as he lets out a war cry as he appears in front of Zabuza and punches him in the gut and drags him to Haku. She loved you like a father, I loved you like a father. Is that all we are to you? Tools ready to be used, and when no longer useful, gotten rid of, huh? Yes, he admits he was, then throws away and punched in the face. Everyone else is amazed at his speed. He was far faster than Haku. He then beats Zabuza with words, but one makes him cry. My mother would be disgusted and disappointed, the boy tells him. Your words cut more than any blade, brat. He then ruffles the boy's hair and asks for a kunai, which the boy puts it in his mouth. As the two look over and the boy is boiling with rage, seeing Gato kick Haku, Zabuza goes first but only hurts Gato, so the boy grins sadistically as he slaughters them all. Kakashi winces seeing the carnage in front of him, and as someone who was in a war, an umbu, that's saying something. Sakura passed out and Menma and Sasuke were throwing up. When all was done, he and the team buried Haku and Zabuza. As the white-haired boy went to take the sword, the redhead stood in front of him. That's Zabuza's, he told the boy. The boy just laughed. Kid, he's dead. I was his son, it's mine now. He left it to me, and if I don't take it, someone else will so move. No, it SD, but he was cut off when he was kicked in the face, sending him into a tree as the boy sealed the blade in a scroll. Menma! Sasuke yelled. Over the years the three have gotten close. After Sasuke was adopted by Kushina, the two want to make each other's dream come true. Menma become Hokage and get his brother back, and Sasuke to kill Itachi. As everyone looked where he was, only to see a note that says you will pay for Haku. Kakashi. It was clear to Kakashi he'd been marked back with the boy. As he walked down Gato's base after killing everyone, he slowly put his hand on his head and gripped his hair, then let his arm drop, pulling off the white wig, revealing dark boy bright blonde hair. He walked up to a mirror and looked at it with blood-red eyes with a black pentagram star in it, tears streaming down. He whispers, Haku. Over the time that pasted after the wave, Naruto has traveled to the land of hot water, land of sound, the land of iron, the hidden waterfall, and the land of grass, all the while gathering information and building a spy network. He found the hidden sound of Rice Country to be rather unique. There was little to nothing in it, no village. There were a few buildings, but other than that there was nothing. He did see few sound nin. And the funny thing is that they had snake skin patterns on their clothes. That could just be a coincidence, but Naruto knew there was no such thing as a coincidence in the shinobi world. He was currently going to the Hidden Rain village, He was curious about the place. He's heard about a rumor that Hanzo of the Salamander was dead, but he also heard that was just a rumor spread by his enemies to spread fear. He's heard a lot of rumors that he was old and weak, he was dying, he was looking for successor. Hell, he even heard one that he was gay and his wife forced him to have children with her by using blackmail, but now it was time to find out. As he stood at a hill with the rain out in the distance, well, so this is where the three Sannin got their name. How depressing. He finishes with a sweat drop. He then appears in the village. Hidden rain, unknown location. Hmpha, orange hair man with piercings in his lip, nose and ears with purple eye with a ripple pattern in them, and a black cloak with red and white clouds on it, snaps his head round. What's wrong, Pain? Asked a very beautiful woman with amber-eyed blue hair with a paper flower in it with a lip piercing and the same cloak. Asks the man now known as Pain. Someone is disrupting my reign. This chakra is very strong, Pain informs her. So what are we going to do? Asks the woman. Find them, of course, replied Pain. Conan, when I stop the rain, I want you to go looking for him, he tells the woman with the woman now known as Conan. All right, Conan replies. He then walks into the rain and goes through hand signs. Ready? He asks the Conan. Yes, she replies simply. She then turns into paper that then turn into butterflies and fly out throughout the hidden rain village. Back with Naruto. He'd been surprised. He'd expected a malice feel here, people at each other's throats, and poverty, but this place was lively, happy, prospering. It boggled the young blonde and piqued his curiosity. He then sees a bar, but before then he stops at a small tea shop with young girl at the head. Excuse me, miss, but can I have some green tea, dango, and stuffed buns to go, please, he says with a sweet smile. Sure, coming right up. She then begins getting his order set up. So I'm new here, so can you tell me what happened? Last I heard there was a civil war happening here, but this place sees better than ever, he asks her, but she looks at him very nervous, like what he was asking was like asking someone if they had a crush on someone. Okay, we can get back to that. What about those things? He points at a paper angle. Oh, that is Lady Angle. It said if you hang that out you will have good luck, she says with a soft smile. Okay, now what happened? Where's Hanzo? He asks as she had a look of horror on her face. Hey, it's okay, you don't have to say, just nod or shake your head, okay? She nods her head. Alright then, is Hanzo still the leader of the hidden rain? She shakes her head. Who is the leader of rain? He asks the scared girl. I can't say, she says looking down. Are you Sue? But he was cut off by the stern look she sent him. I can't say. She then hands him his order. I see, very wee, but he stops when he sees a note on his bag. He gives a soft smile. Thank you, he tells her, as he leaves to the bar and reads the note. The god of rain, Pain, huh? Catchy. I see he's no stranger to a good rhyme. Still, what the hell happened here? This place has always been secretive, but still the fear that girl had, it was sad. Whoever this Pain is, he must be a man who rules with an iron fist. I need more info. As he walks into the bar, he sees that there were few ninja, mostly civilians. Normally bars are divided, ones for ninja, ones for civilians. He then sees a lone ninja by himself. He walks over after buying a bottle of sake and sits down. What do you want? He says in a tone that showed he was not in talking mood. However, Naruto wanted answers and wanted them. No. Activating his Sharingan, he looks into the man's eyes. Tell me everything about Pain, Hanzo, and this Lady Angle, he orders, and he tells him everything from him killing Hanzo's parents to his children to his friends, or just anyone in contact with him, or who knew him, no matter how small, even him killing infants and children. That sick bastard was all he could say. He then senses something coming his way, so he breaks the genjutsu and leaves and leads them to a place without anyone around, where Jiraiya seen Conan. Back with Pain. Paper begin to swarm in on one spot, forming Conan. Well? He asks. I found him, she says flatly. Who is he? Pain asks. He's just a child, no older than 12, she informs him. A child? He asks, clear shock and confusion in his voice. Are you certain? He asks her. Yes, it was definitely him. The chakra coming off him was dense and powerful, she informed him. Where is he now? He asks her. He must have known he was being followed. He's went away from everyone in an isolated part of the city, she informed him. I see. He is very talented if he can tell when you are following him. Take me to him, he ordered her. Are you sure I could just deal with him? But she was cut off. No, I'm interested in what he will do when confronted by a god, he finishes as Conan then wraps him up and carries him to the spot where the intruder was. Back with said intruder. Naruto was bored. He felt most of his tail's presence leave, but there was a little bit of it there. He know it wasn't a camouflage jutsu. He felt the person leave, but it felt weird, almost as if the person separated. themselves and flow away like swarm, but that was impossible. He's never heard of any jutsu or kekkei genkai that allows someone to do that. He was cut off when a swarm of paper came and a human figure wrapped in paper came. So, you must be this Pain, he asks the orange-haired man, who nods, and you must be Lady Angle, yes? He asks Conan, who nods. Why are you here? Asks Pain. Who knows, he replies, which Pain just narrows his eyes at. I'll ask again, why are you here, he asks. To find God? To find faith? To buy some tea? He then points at his empty teacup. To play in the rain? Or to he was cut off by Pain. Enough! He yells out angrily. Naruto just pouts. Rude, he says, crossing his arms and sticking his tongue out childishly. Are you just an immature child? Pain asks. Are you just a masochist with a god complex? He asks. Enough! Pain yells out, losing his cool, making Naruto chuckle, and Conan let out a small giggle that some child can anger him so much. Shall thou spite me down where I stand? Naruto asks in a mocking tone as he did a mocking bow. Pain takes a deep breath to calm his nerves. Why did you come here? He asks, expecting another joke answer, but what he got surprised him. Curiosity, Naruto says bluntly. About? Pain asks. Who knows, I heard rumors. Go curious came here, and here we are, he explained. I do have a question, Naruto exclaims. And what might that be? Asked Pain. Suddenly the temperature drops and a dark aura surrounds Naruto as he glares at Pain. Why did you kill all of Hanzo's family? What do you know of Pain? True Pain? Asks Pain. More than you can possibly imagine, Naruto tell Pain. No, not true Pain, like losing your parents in front of you or your best friend, Pain states, which makes Naruto laugh. Try being hated for being alive, try being alone, try losing the people you considered your family because they did more and treated you like family than your actual family, the losing them, being alone again, then finding new people, a father and a lover, and then losing them. He then glares at Pain with his EMS, making the real Nagato shake in fear. My pain is greater than yours. Naruto yells out. I see very well. What village are you loyal to? He asks. None, Naruto said with a bored face. Are you a missing nin? Asks Conan. In a way, yes, they just think I'm dead, Naruto replies. How would you like to join the Akatsuki? Pain asks the blonde. The Akatsuki? Naruto asks, confused. It is an organization made up of S-class criminals with the sole purpose to gather the nine-tailed beasts, Pain informs him. What do I get out of it? Naruto asks, wanting to know what he can get out of this. If you join, you get protection of the others as well as the hidden rain, he tells the young boy. Okay, I'll join. That said, if you try and double-cross me, well, let's just say it won't go well for you, he finishes with an eye smile. Put this on your right ring finger. He then gives him a silver ring with a yellow gem with the black kanji for death. Ever since Orochimaru betrayed us, I had to make a new ring and block his welcome to the Akatsuki. What is the ring for? He asks. It allows us to talk to each other from anywhere and to meet through holographic bodies and extract tailed beasts, he explains. Are you going to gather them to introduce our new member? Asked Conan. Yes, he then turns to Naruto. You will feel a pull, don't resist it, let it pull you. After getting a nod, Pain then does the jutsu. Unknown location. Naruto stood in a pitch black. He could see blurry rainbow human figure. He narrowed his eye trying to see who or what it was, then light came to reveal several people, but one caught his attention. The one next to him, while there were large gaps between them, he was tall, and had crimson blood red eye with 3 black tomo. He was Itachi Uchiha. My, it's been a while since all of us were called. Not since Orochimaru's betrayal, said a man with a shark-like grin. We're here to welcome our new member, said Pain. Just the everyone then noticed the new figure. This guy HN, he's just a brat, said a rather young voice. Shut up, Deidara, remember you were the youngest member here. Well, second youngest now, said a hunchback man with a deep raspy voice. Hey, I'm not that young, Sasori HN, said the man known as Deidara. Enough, Pain said with voice of power and authority. At this they both shut up. So who is our little greenie, said the shark-like man with a mocking tone, clearly seeing Naruto as a weak person. However, Naruto liked this better, to have an opponent underestimate you. He loves a good battle, but not with people annoy him. He'd rather deal with them. He is someone who snuck into the rain, I did see, of course, but the fact he got past the security is impressive. He is also the student of Zabuza Momochi, the former member of the Seven Swords Men, informed Pain. The shark man laughed so little Zabuza kicked the bucket. He then chuckles, finding it very amusing. I always knew he was weak, it's pathetic. He became one of us, he laughed. And he was killed, and only this brat survived, he probed, but he was cut off by the rather impressive killer intent being sent to him. Watch how you talk about Zabuza, Naruto said to him, not yelling. His voice was low, it showed power. He doesn't need to yell to get them to listen, he makes them listen. Hearing the voice, Itachi snapped his eyes open and looked at the young short rainbow figure, waiting to see if it is him. What was that? Mighty brave for, but he was cut off again when he activated his Sharingan. The killing intent didn't increase, but those eyes made him pretty intimidating. Meanwhile, all the members had different opinions. Kakuzu was interested. Haiden found it hilarious. Of course, Deidara thought he'd be just like Itachi. Zetsu and Tobi were intrigued. Konan was amused and Pain was annoyed. Itachi, after getting over his shock, was mentally smirking. So what's your name, kid? asked Kakuzu. Naruto. Uchiha. Naruto replies. Tell me, Naruto my man, what is art? asked Deidara. Leave the kid alone, he doesn't want to hear about your art, as you call it, said Sasori. What was that? Art is a fleeting moment, art is an explosion. He yells at the man. Art is eternal beauty, something that lasts forever, Sasori replies to his partner. Passion. They were both cut off from their argument when they heard the boy speak. Care to explain? asked Deidara. Art is passion. Passion can be about anything: hate, love, envy. Art, it is fleeting but eternal, Naruto stated, and everyone in the room had a look of awe at the wisdom Naruto had. What an interesting point of view, Deidara said, and everyone agreed. Maybe he isn't like Itachi after all, Deidara thought to himself. Naruto, you've grown up, Itachi thought to himself. It's been a long time, Naruto, he said to the blonde. So it has, big bro Itachi, he replied to the Uchiha killer. Everyone had the same though, brother. I see you two know each other well. If that's all, you are all dismissed, he told them as they slowly disappeared. Naruto, I'll see you soon, Itachi told him before he left. Outside the Hidden Rain village, 5 guards stood on alert as a cloaked figure walked towards them. As he walked up to them, the one in charge stepped forward. Stop there, he told the figure. As he stopped, you're a Leaf Shinobi, he asked/stated. Yes, I'm Kakashi Hatake of the Hidden Leaf Village. Our leader, the Hokage, sent me here. I bear with me a joint letter from the Hidden Leaf and the Hidden Sand, he says as he holds a scroll in his hand. Fine, I'll accept it, the guard says, holding out his hand. No, I've been ordered to present it only to your leader Hanzo of the Salamander himself, he states. After he says this, 4 of the guards point their spears at him. You may not. Why do you want to get close to Lord Hanzo? They ask, clearly on alert. Threatening me is the same as threatening the Hidden Leaf and the Hidden Sand. Is that really what you want to do? Kakashi says in a serious tone. The guard in charge gave the signal to stand down, and they lowered their weapons. All right, I'll let him know, he states as he walks away. After a while, someone comes back. Lord Hanzo will see you now. Surrender all of your weapons and enter, he tells Kakashi. The rumors were correct. They have strict rules about entering this nation, Kakashi thought to himself. After giving all his weapons, he goes in and enters a room full of guards. Seems his security is airtight. His thoughts were interrupted when he heard Hanzo speak. Kakashi Hatake, good of you to come. You may put the message that you've brought over there, he told the copy ninja. Kakashi then put it on a tray that one of the guards picked up and brought to the room Hanzo was in. Sliding open the sliding door, and her arms reaches out and grabs it. Kakashi looks as thunder booms in the sky. At the tallest tower in the Hidden Rain, paper butterflies come swarming in as they form Konan. The Hidden Leafs invited us to the Chunin exams they're sponsoring with the sand. Probably just a ploy to gather all of the villages and spy on them. Hanzo sent many genin before so that they could represent the village in the previous Chunin exams, Konan informs Pain. Then this time around we shall send a few teams to placate them too. Let them keep believing that Hanzo is still the leader of the Hidden Rain village, Pain ordered her. Understood, she replied as she turns into paper and flies away. Time skip 3 days later. 3 young ninja with Hidden Rain headbands stood at the Hidden Leaf gates. A girl with black hair and eyes wearing a black t-shirt and a blue hoodie with black shorts with a black fishnet leg. Look up young Koharu if you want to know her face. A boy with brown hair and brown eyes wearing a red t-shirt, blue pants and a dark gray hoodie, and the final member, he had a white t-shirt with I don't remember the color. It was between blue and crimson red. I don't remember which I picked, so just imagine the color. A high collar black jacket with the sleeves rolled up to the elbow, black pants with black embouteille around his ankle, a black face mask that went around his neck, below his ears and above his nose, like Kakashi but black. A Hidden Rain headband with green eyes and spiky/messy black hair. Yay, we are finally here! Shouted the black hair boy like a child without a care in the world, Toby voice, while the After2's sweat drop. Thanks for watching this video. You really enjoy this video. Like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. Don't forget to support and follow the Red-Eyed Princess for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story, link in the description. See you in the next video. Goodbye.